jar files to local system. Okay. Download, rest assured, jar files to local system. Add to project. Okay. So based on tester comfort, we can go with any of the approach. We got both the options here. One we can work with browser and one we can work with jar file. Let's see that browser. Let's see that browser, that particular one. Let's see that considering that this particular browser option, taking with which you will be taking with that particular respective browser. You will take care about, you will take care about in having with that particular respective browser. Now you can see that which you will be taking with, you will just go with Google. You can type as, rest assured for Chrome. You can just type as rest assured for Chrome. As part of installation, what is the first approach? As part of installation, what is the first approach? Install rest assured in browser. For that, I'm taking Chrome, considering that rest assured for Chrome. Okay. Taking with that particular option. You are just taking care of that. For me, I'm getting the option. What is the option I'm getting? Launch app. In your case, for the first time you are trying, you will get installed. As it is not installed in the browser, you will get the option is install. You need to be get, click on that particular install button. You need to be get, click on that particular install button. You need to be get, take care about, you need to be get, take care about clicking on that particular install button. Once I got, click on that install. Once I got, click on that particular install button, it will continue the installation. Then you can go with taking with launch app. Just click on that. It will open the rest assured, the same as your Postman here. So here you will be taking with all the required options here. Considering that, taking with methods. What is the method we got? Get method. What is the functionality of get method? Taking with read only. Further, you need to be get provide. You need to be get provide that particular URL. Considering that one user, considering that one user need to be get provide that particular URL. Click on send. It will sending the request, getting the response. What is the response you got? 200. And considering that this is response time in milliseconds, response time in milliseconds here. And then we got, what is the employee ID you provided? 2, which is giving the employee ID details of 2. For example, I'll be taking with 6, which I'll be taking with send. What is the employee ID details? Which you will be taking with 6. Considering that retrieving only one employee ID. In case of need to retrieve list of employees, need to be go with list of employees. You will be taking with that URL. You will be taking with that URL, which you will be taking with considering that providing list of that particular one, that you will be taking with send, getting the status code, giving with all that particular employee details, taking with 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that is what you will be taking with retrieving list of the employees. Any API, the concept will be the same. As part of API, you are taking care about in confirming, in testing that particular logic has been working or not. So that is what you will be taking with get method. Consider that post method. Functionality of post method. Functionality of post method to create new request. While creating new request, see the steps to be followed. While creating with new request, see the steps to be followed. You are providing URL. You are providing URL. Apart from that, you are taking with body, and then you are taking with body content type. See the steps. While working manually, see the steps you followed. You are taking with body and taking with content type, that particular input you are providing, and then giving that particular content type, that body data, considering the employee ID, and then taking with mentioning about employee first name, and then taking with employee last name, here, and then taking with role, whatever it can be. Just randomly I'm giving the data. As we are working dummy URL, you can provide any data. So that I will be taking with, tester. Okay. So that is what you are providing. You provided URL, taking with body, and then taking with content type, and then providing with data. Okay. That you will be taking with send. If I click on send, what is the status code? 201. Meaning of 201? New request has been created. That you are getting the option considering that created it. That you are getting with the confirmation. The request has been created in server. So the one you got, get method, and then taking with post method. Similar to that, what is another method? Which you will be taking with put method. Functionality of put method. Updating with request. Need to be get update. That particular request. Need to be get update that particular request. That you will be taking with update. So now you can say that click on send. You are getting status code 200 and confirming that updated it. So that is what you will be taking with, or that is what you will be consider. So that is what you will mention. That is what you will take care about in having, saying that, mentioning about, taking that particular 200. Okay, done. So this is what we got an option here, and then considering that, taking care about in having with delete, which you will be taking with delete. Considering that delete, that particular delete, you will be taking with. So that particular delete, you will be considering that need to be get provided that particular respective URL related to delete, you need to be get provide that particular respective URL. Let's see that. So that you will be taking with need to be get provide, need to be get provide that particular respective URL. So we need to be get provide that particular respective URL and then need to be get sending that particular request considering the 204 no content. So this is how you can take care about doing with manual testing with the respective of API. So just we need to understand what is that particular request. For that request, what is the status code need to be get and taking that particular respective URL. The same thing, if you want coming up with automation. The same thing if you want to be get come up with in taking with automation, what need to be done. So how exactly we can take care about in doing with that particular automation. For that we required jar files here. For that we required jar files related to that particular rest assured. Related to rest assured, you need to be get take care about that particular respective jar files here. Now you can see that considering that taking with the jar files, considering that taking with the jar files, I'm just giving list of the jar file. We need to take care about adding all the jar files to project. So working the programming, that concept is same. Working that programming concept is same. Just we will be following with our Selenium syntax only. Let's see here. So considering that taking with rest assured, considering that rest assured jar files here, which you will be taking with, rest assured jar files here. Okay. So that you need to be get take care about, you need to be get take care about adding with jar files here. Adding with the jar files followed with same concept. Adding with jar files followed with same concept, considering that taking with build path and then need to be get mentioned. Configure build path taking with add external jar. You need to be get take care about adding with all the jar files related to rest assured. Related to rest assured, you need to be get related to rest assured. You need to be get take care about in adding with all that particular jar files here. So that you will be taking with apply and close. After that, doing with programming, that particular concept will be the same. So that you will be taking with considering that working with rest assured. First you will be taking with get method. Consider that you will be taking with rest assured, you will be taking with get method. In case of Selenium, you will take the help of Selenium related methods. In case of Java, you are taking with Java related methods. Similar to that, while working, rest assured, you need to be get taking with the help of rest assured related methods. So let's see that how exactly we can work on it. Let's see that how exactly we can do that programming. Doing that programming, doing that particular programming that concept is same. Doing the programming, the concept is same. In case of, if you required HTML reports, what you can use it? For HTML reports, what you can use it? What we can use it? TestNG. As usual, whenever you record HTML reports, you can go with TestNG here. Right. Now, again see here, which you will be taking with that particular annotations, you can use it. Otherwise, as usual, we'll go with taking care about main method. So what is the use of the main method? Use of the main method to start program execution, that we have to take care about test step. As part of API testing, we have to send a request and then getting the response. That activity we are working with get method. We are working with get method. Functionality of get method. Functionality of get method. Read only. Sending with the request. Sending with the request. And then need to be get with response. For getting with the response, we need to be get send with the request. For sending with the request, I'm taking with rest assured. I'm taking with rest assured. With the help of rest assured, with the help of rest assured, I'm taking with method name that I will be taking with get method, which I will be taking with get method. So here I need to be get provide that URL. I need to be get provide that particular URL, which you will be taking with, which you will be taking with that particular URL. So I'm just taking with this particular single URL. So need to be get provide that particular respective URL. Now we can see here, we are taking the help of rest assured. With the help of rest assured API, we are sending request. Which request? Get request, provided that URL need to retrieve, getting with response. So further, we need to be get import that particular required packages. We need to be get import that particular respective packages. So need to be get take care about importing that particular respective packages. We need to be get taking care about in importing. The one you are taking, rest assured, another one you are taking, response. So that is how you need to be get take care about in importing that particular respective packages. So just any programming you have been followed with the same. Any programming you have been followed with the same. Just you are importing all the required packages, taking that classes, taking that methods, considering that taking with the response. You got the symbol of I, meaning of I, interface. So that particular response consider as a one interface. For interface, can we create an object? For interface, can we create an object? No, we cannot create an object. Because of that, for interface, we cannot create an object. Because of that, we are taking with that particular response, we are taking with that particular required response and then taking with get method. This particular rest assured, we got an C. Meaning of C? Considering that class. The meaning of C, considering that class. Okay. So that need to be provided. Considering that class. You are sending with the request. You will get the response. But that response, how we are confirming correct or not? How we are confirming response has been correct or not? With the help of status code. So that status code we have to retrieve need to be printed. For that, I'm taking with int, which will be taking with int, and then taking with considering the status code, which will be taking with status code. So that particular status code, I'm taking with response dot taking with status code, assigning to variable, and then printing that particular respective variable. So by that you will get, by that you will be getting that particular respective status code, which you will be getting that particular respective status code. Okay. So and then if required, which you will be taking with response time, which you will be taking with response time, how much time it was taking, how much time it was taking to get the response from the server, that you will be taking with get time. So as simple, we are importing required packages created with class, created with main method, taking the reference, retrieving the status code and printing it. So now we can see here. Now we can see. So as part of automation testing, taking care about doing that particular respective programming, taking care about doing that particular respective programming. Got the status code? What is the status code? 200. So this is you are taking with status code, and this is consider response time. Taking with the status code and then consider response time. But is that employee details has been printed here? We got status code, but employee details are printed? No, it is not printed. If required, you need to write. If required, you need to write that particular respective statement. You need to be go with that particular statement. Let's see that. Further, the data you are considering as a string, which you will be taking with data, which you will be taking with data here. So further, again, I need to be get send that particular request, sending with that particular request, taking with that particular response one dot, you will be taking with as string, which you will be taking with, which you will be taking with as string. So we'll be taking with that particular response data, we are taking in a format of string here. Okay. So that you will be considering that you will be taking with as part of that particular string, and then for the confirmation, printing with the statement that you will be taking with data. Still, for this also, in case of required response time, taking with dot, you will be taking with get time, so that it will retrieve, that particular time. Okay. So now you can see here, considering the taking with. run as Java application. So we'll be able to see printing with the status code along with the status code. You are getting with that particular respective employee details also. This is what, this is what we got an option. This is what we got an option in taking care about doing with. This is what we got an option in taking care about doing with programming with the help of rest assured. Either we can go with having that browser related or we can go with programming. When you are working with Postman, we don't have an option in doing. When you are working with, when you are working with Postman, we don't have an option in doing this kind of programming. This is how we got an option. This is how we got an option in taking with. This is how we have an option in taking care about doing the programming with the help of rest assured that we will be taking with get method. What is another method? What is another method? Post method. What is the functionality of post method? What is the functionality of post method? Taking with, creating with, request. You need to be get take care about. You need to be get take care about in creating with new request. But further need to be get understand some programming concept. Further, previously when we are working with Java programming, when we are working with Java programming, we got understand the concept of data types and variables. Use of data types and variables. Use of data types and variables. Representing the data. If you want to define, if you want to define less number of values, if you want to define less number of values, you will be taking with data types and variables. Similar to that, if you want to define more number of values, what is it? Taking with arrays. Similar to this, if we consider some advanced concept in case of Java, data types and variables only. Data types and variables only. That particular data types and variables, that particular data types and variables taking with the respective advanced concept, we got consider mentioning that in case of Java, there is one concept of collections. Under collections, you will be taking with array list, which you will be taking with array list, and then taking with list, and then taking with hash map. When you are working collections, when you are working with collections, under the collections you got array list and then hash map. Little bit advanced concepts in Java, not like we required into that detail, but as part of requirement, we may utilize the respective concept. So array list, we done with window handlers. When you are working with window handlers to retrieve that particular respective, multiple windows information, assigning that multiple windows information to the variable, that you will be taking with array list here. Similar to that, taking care about the concept. What is the concept? Hash map. What exactly the meaning of this particular hash map is? The concept of hash map. The concept of hash map in simple, considering that taking with key and then consider value. The concept of hash map, the concept of hash map considering that key and then value. Whenever you want to insert the data, you want to add a data. Whenever you want to insert the data or you want to add the data. For example, you will take one hash map. You will provide that particular key. For example, I'm giving employee ID 101 and then provide that particular employee ID that you will be giving that employee ID details. And consider one more employee ID 102 and then taking with need to be get provide that particular employee details. So when you are working hash map, when you are working hash map, you are inserting the data. When you are working with the hash map, you are inserting with the data to the hash map by providing key and then taking with value. First you have to create hash map only. Once you create hash map, for that hash map you are taking with key and then taking with value. Now the same concept when it's come to API. The same concept when it's come to API, you will be using JSON object. Concept is same. In Java hash map, rest assured JSON object. In Java hash map, in case of rest assured, the same terminology, you are going with JSON object. Considering that taking with key and then taking with value. When you are working post method, functionality of post method, to create new request, creating the new request, you are inserting the data. So the data you are inserting by taking with key and value. For example, you will take employee ID, which you will be taking with employee ID and need to be get provide. You need to be get provide taking with employee ID. So that you will be considering the employee ID. And then you need to be get taking care about the name. You will be providing the name that you will be considering that mentioning about employee name. So you are taking with concept of key and value. When you are working programming, when we are working programming, we got a concept of taking with key and value. That is what hash map, inserting the data. Similar to that, while working API, similar to that, while working API also, while working API also utilizing with the same concept that you will be taking with taking the concept of JSON object. So that is what need to be done. So how exactly we can do the respective programming? So we are taking JSON object in the programming. In the programming, we need to provide these details. In the programming, we need to provide these details. Along with that, as part of post method, as part of post method, you're selecting the option of body, and then need to be get taking with the option of content type, content type, and then you are providing that data. So when you are working with this particular post method, when you are working with this particular post method, you need to be get take care about providing that particular body, and then taking with content type, and then taking with that particular respective data. So this is what the steps need to be followed, because when you are taking with manual, that is what you are doing. What is the request? Post request. Need to provide that URL, taking with body, and then taking with body content type, and then input, need to provide that input. When you are taking programming also, when you are taking with programming also, need to be get followed with the same. When you are taking with programming also, followed with the same. Taking with class, that you will be taking with. Rest assured that you will be considered post method. So need to be get go with in writing that particular code, that you will be taking with void, and then taking with main string, taking with args. Need to be get open main method. So once it got open that particular main method, you need to be get come up with test step. So first we need to be get taking that particular data. So that particular data you are taking with JSON object. You are taking with JSON object, and then taking with data equal to new JSON object. Okay. Now we need to be get add data, that we will okay. I can go with taking with the method, that you will be taking with put method. So you're adding the data, taking with the put method, considering that key and value. Same as hash map. In case of Java, it will be taking with hash map. In case of rest assured, in a place of hash map, you are taking with JSON object. So that you need to provide, key and value. So need to be get provide that particular respective key and value. So that you will be taking with, employee ID. Need to provide that employee ID, considering the 101, and then taking with data dot, considering that put method, considering that taking with put method. Need to be get provide, that particular employee name. I'm taking with employee name, need to be get provide, that particular employee name, you need to be get provide that particular employee name. You need to be get provide, you need to be get provide that particular employee name here. You need to be get provide that particular employee name. So this is what you are taking care about in having with data. Just we got inside the data. So now we have to take the trust assured and then taking with post method, and we need to be passed this taking the body and then passing the content type. For that content type, we need to be get provide the data. So that logic need to be write it. We'll look into that logic that will take on the next part. So that we'll look into that how we can go with post method. After that, we'll be taking with put method and then taking with delete method. So we got an option of manual, at the same time automation, functional testing, API testing. So this only taken a time to write this logic. That post method, I mean put method, delete method, very simple. So that Monday will complete this particular API and will take care about database testing. So which need to be get taking care about that particular database testing. So that will look into that how exactly we can perform the database testing. So after database, then we'll be taking with the performance here. So you need to be get take care about all these things. Look into the practice of all these things. Definitely it will give you added advantage while attending with the interviews. So nowadays, in most of the interviews, you can expect with the questions related to API testing also. So that is the reason we are taking care about all these things here. Take care about all these particular concepts, and tomorrow, remembered timings, 10 to 11 or 10:30, which you will be taking with 10 to 11. So that particular code, you already got it. So just you can go with the same thing here. So the link I have been given. The link I have been given. In case of issue, try to send including the screenshot. In case of an issue, send the email including the screenshot. By that, they will look into that. So that is what you are having it. So just take care about that particular exam also, how that particular one. And Monday, we'll complete this particular API testing and then we'll go with database testing. Okay, please look into the practice, take care about the practice and take care about that exam preparation. Okay, carry on. Thank you.